How's it, everyone? Welcome back to Game Time in the beautiful Redefined studio here in Cape Town. Joshy, as always, great to see you.
How's it? Good.
Yeah,
How was your week?
brilliant.
I
busy but brilliant. No, flipping had an awesome opportunity to go spend some time with the guys from Bright Rock and their Elite 10 group. So it's all their best distributors and guys just do an incredible job for them. But we were in the Forest Lodge at Punda, and I promise you that place is so magical. It could have easily become the 8th member of the bomb squad.
Yeah, there you go, dude. Yeah. There's something special about it.
There's something special. Yeah, but no, great week and busy as always.
Yeah.
Yeah, feeling good.
Yeah.
Bit hungover today, but it's
A little bit of a clop, you know? You also landed, what, like
an hour ago.
Yeah, straight to studio, straight to film a bit of game time.
Exactly.
But look, man, I want to get into before this week happened, before you went away, before the shenanigans of the week that was. Last week, we were all in Hermanus.
Yeah.
Tens through the first Tens WBO Hermanus kind of side of everything. It's the first time they've ever done it there. And before we get into a little bit of Kak Praat on all the antics that went down from shoeies to you giving your first live singing performance, which was phenomenal, to the beer run, to everything going on. I just want to say thank you to Hermanus itself and to all the locals of Hermanus. You guys were such a fat jaw, whether it was wanting to have a beer, wanting to go eat in a certain restaurant for breakfast or for lunch or something. So I'm trying to get my mic distance right here. It was a fat jaw. Everyone had such great recommendations. Everyone was so friendly. We had people invite us to go to Bry's and to come to their house the next day. We had people offer for us to come stay over for a night. Like it was a very intimate small town feel. And to combine that with a sports event like that, it was beautifully in the middle.
100%. But that's what I loved about Hermanus Tents. Like, I mean, Cape Town Tents was such a big festival and such a big vibe and music and people everywhere. And Hermanus was like very intimate, and I loved it. Yeah. I mean, towards the end of it, there's probably 250 people in the beer tent and live music playing and just having such a good time.
It was such a joy.
I mean, John and them were there with us.
Yeah.
Played a bit of beer pong with us.
Yes.
Had a couple of drinks together. So yeah, I think it was fun. I think it was a lot of fun.
My first time ever meeting Jean de Villiers. I was very nervous.
You looked a bit nervous, but
I was, dude. I was stumbling over words, and I don't know why. Like, it's because I was only one beer in. But went over to go have a chat, like a Kak Praat with him, and then he got into the bezzes and got into the beer pong, and he started sending it. Who I do want to shout out to is Chris Dry.
Yes,
dude.
Yes, but he can talk a lot of cuck though.
Yes, but
he's such a good oak.
Dude, he would not stop.
Remember, we had this discussion prior to Tens, where Hermanus Tens. You said like sober cobra, what do you call it?
Yeah, sober cobra.
And there was one beer, and then everything just flipped.
It was done the whole day.
But it was
done. It was you that gave me the beer. Yeah.
Can't come to the bomb squad tent and not drink a beer.
I have to. That actually brings a good topic to mind. On that, you prefer day drinking than night drinking?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Time of day doesn't matter, dude.
Yeah.
8 a.m., crack a beer. Yeah.
I do find day drinking is a bit more fun though. I think there's like when you start like at lunchtime and you almost push it through until the evening, it's a longer period that you spend with your friends. Like it's
yes.
Or if you go for dinner at 7:30, like everyone's tired by 12 and it's over. But if you start at 1 o'clock and you push till 12, it's 11 hours of non-stop jawling and mingling.
Is so early. I mean, we did start at 10, 11 in Hermanus. Dude, I'm all in for a day drink.
Yeah,
like, especially when Northern Suburbs side, shout out Northern Suburbs, dude, I love drinking in the Northern Suburbs. Because everyone is just like, exactly, even you, it's such a joy. Like, everyone knows, like, they finish work on Friday and they're like, don't ask me to do shit. because from Friday evening till Sunday afternoon, I'm doping.
Yeah.
Because Friday you can do like
my
a
time.
night out. Saturday you've got rugby, you've got sport, you've got everything else going. You can day drink the whole Saturday. Sunday you just get a cheeky little wine farm in. You go to
Like a nice little lunch.
What's the one where my parents live? Klein for Santa Kraal. Have you been there? That wine farm. That wine farm, dude, you go do a wine tasting, super affordable, lekker wine, and you can do a couple of them, which is what I'm keen on. And you sit in like this big glass box, and you just the whole
Good
afternoon.
food as well.
Great food. They do a lot of like little trays.
Like share, like
Yeah. A little bit of meat, a little bit of grapes, a little bit of cheese, a little bit of chutney, you know?
charcuterie board. What do you call it?
Yeah, one of those. A Jacko tree board.
Yeah,
Yes.
Jacko tree board.
A Jacko tree board.
Yeah.
So they give you a lot of little Jacko tree boards. And then you just pair with your Witten Roy. Yeah.
okay.
It's a lekker jaw roux. But
lekker.
that's go-to for me. It's the best to wake up on a Saturday with a little bit of a babbelas, just a little. So you have like a bacon and egg breakfast to kind of get yourself going. You have a brekkie beer, which is one of my favorite beers to have.
100%.
And then you start like you say around 1, so like early afternoon.
Yeah.
And you get to like, let's do Brauhaus first. And you do a tower at Brauhaus, or one of those 1 liters. And it comes in that frosty glass. Dude, I think I'm going to make myself drink today again. Like when I was little 1
We're
liter.
going to the rugby after this anyway.
Yeah, but I'm hoping I'm not going to drink at the rugby.
No, man.
I don't know.
You always make these empty promises.
I know, to myself.
Yeah, I think we'll stop that.
The only thing that's going to be empty is your 4th beer.
Yes.
Most probably, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, tomorrow I have to get through like a lot of filming.
That's fine.
So I can't have a clop.
No,
tomorrow.
like after rugby, maybe one looped up and then we send it into Sunday. I'm traveling to PE tomorrow,
What time do you travel tomorrow?
like 11. So I don't know, like an hour
quite
flight,
early.
and it's only overnight, but there's no massive amount of packing. But talking about PE, like let's get a bit into the rugby stuff.
Yay.
It's quite exciting as well. I mean, got the baby box playing the baby blacks tomorrow.
There we go.
Sounds so, sorry.
The
got
baby
the-
box will
the
play
baby?
against baby blacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great game.
Yeah, so in Nelson Mandela Bay. So that's going to be, I think, exciting. Oaks have been 1-1. Argentina has lost.
Yes.
Australia, tough second half. But I think it's going to be interesting to see, like, because you can truly see the future of South African rugby with these guys. I mean, all youngsters. Their captain, Riley, is like such a superstar at the moment. I mean, that kid, Paul Russo, and shout out to my alma mater, Paul Russo, like,
Yay.
that oak, SA Schools cricket, SA Schools rugby, captain both sides. He's just like a phenomenal sportsman.
For both.
For both.
That's not fair. It's a little bit unfair. You know, like shout out to him. You're an absolute legend, but you're too much of a legend. Yeah.
It's too good.
Yeah, too good.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the boys do tomorrow.
The Australia game was a little bit of a tough watch, having such a great lead in the first half. But I mean, shout out, and I never do this. Shout out to the Australian side.
I can see it's tough. I can see
Favorite
it's
rugby
tough.
team. Yeah, but damn, dude, they gave it gas into that second half to come back that hard.
It just shows you, rugby is like a game of two halves. I mean, if you switch off for 10 minutes, you can just lose it like that.
Yeah. On the under-20 thing, because while I was watching the game, I actually wanted to message you and ask you this. There's guys that are being pulled into the Stormers side straight from university. But then there's guys in the under-20 Springbok that aren't playing Stormers or provincial level rugby, right? How does that work?
So all these under 20 players would have franchise contracts, so they all would be contracted either to a Stormers or Bulls or Sharks. But a lot of the time they being selected quite early, so they go into this high performance group like for under 20s. So they get chances to work with some of the Springbok coaches. They work with all the Springbok S&C guys. So they've been earmarked quite early in the future for South African rugby. So that's how that process works. So you'll see a lot of them probably in the next 2 years start playing more Curry Cup rugby, more URC. You'll start seeing the Oaks. If they don't get much game time, franchise-wise, they'll probably start playing a lot of Varsity Cup as well.
Yeah, because it's quite a system to try and understand in terms of, I can imagine being a player myself if I was in, say now I'm at Stellenbosch, right, and I'm playing like Marty's first side. You get, what, 3-4 years of getting to play at Marty's, let's say, like average?
Yeah, give or take, yeah.
That's an incredible level to achieve in rugby. But it's also then 3-4 years where you have the chance to get picked.
Yeah.
But once you 21, 22, the under 20 Springbok side isn't.
Yeah, you only got that 2 chances.
Yeah.
Your first year and your second year out of school.
Straight out of school.
Yeah.
2 years chance, that's it. But then the final year or 2 years in university, you can get called up for provincial, right?
Yeah, you can still play for any franchise. I think a lot of the Oaks go into the Varsity Cup with the mission to like try and make it into a professional outfit. Like they want to end up with the Stormers, and that's where you see like there's a lot of young guys coming through the whole time with the Varsity Cup, and they give it a full go, get an opportunity to study, just enrich their lives in somehow, and then play the sport they love, but then also with the hopes of being seen by like a Dobbo or Jake White or someone to pull them out of the Varsity Cup into the professional setup.
Yeah. And as a rugby player, if I want to be, just like as someone that's had a career that you've had, right? Like chatting to the kids, let's say, I say kids, but they all 6'5", 300 pounds and would eat me, but kids.
Yeah.
What do they have to do in order to be seen? Because I think of like, it's easy for me to wrap my head around saying I was a soccer player and you come watch his game and he scores 3 goals and you go, wow, that guy's outstanding, right? Or you score 3 tries and you're like, I'm already got 3 tries. But there's so much more to the game than the guy that's actually just putting the ball down on the try line, right?
No, 100%.
Is it the consistency? Is it maybe a standout moment? Is it a need that Dobbo or Jake White have that they, before even getting to the game, are intentionally we need someone that can kick, for example. So that's what they look for specifically, or is it a lot more open than that?
No, it's a lot more open. I think probably the big thing they would be looking for is like a consistent player. Like, so, first of all, you need to be good at rugby. Like, you're not just going to make...
Let's put that first.
Yeah, so you do... like, every player has like a certain skill set. Like, Cheslin's exceptionally quick and he's got good feet, he's got good hands. So everyone will see it, but then you can't just do it at a Varsity Cup level because maybe the competition is not good enough. So then they push him into a senior side, like in a Stormers, and then he excels there, and then he becomes a Springbok. And that's how like the natural transition works. Like you'll maybe start out, or if you were like exceptional at school, you'll get pushed into the high performance program, and then from there you would go Stormers, Springboks, or whatever the route is.
Okay.
But for guys to get seen, I think it's just that consistent, like good performances. Like I can't see Oak going very far in his life, even though if he's a good rugby player, like play one good game, one bad game, because then like you can't rely on him. Like he needs to be able to week in, week out. He just goes like flipping. I'm willing to give everything. I'm working hard. I listen to my coaches because the coaches also. I promise you, Dobbo and them speak to the Varsity Cup coaches as well and say like, listen, we're thinking about contracting this kid, and like, how's he at training? Does he work hard? Does he do his analysis? Does he do his homework? And the coach will be like, oh, it's a great Oak. He does everything very well, and he plays well as well. And then it's like then it becomes a bit easier to go into that next step. But it's so it's tough these days. There's so many good rugby players, and there's only 200 spots available when it comes to
it's scary, dude.
The franchises.
Even if you don't end up playing here,
it's always an opportunity to go overseas.
You could go overseas, right? But are there enough channels currently for the young guns to go, cool, I didn't get picked to play provincially here, sick, I'm just going to go to the UK? Because like that's a huge move. It's expensive, it's visas, it's opportunities, it's offers, whatever. Like that's a whole nother mission on its own. So I wonder how open those lanes are for them to go over.
Yeah, it depends. It also like it would be a club, overseas club would probably look internally first, so they'll probably look for someone. But then if you have got a good agent, like you fill out a certain style that they're looking for, a certain player profile they're looking for, then the transition becomes easy because they'll also have scouts looking at the Varsity Cup, they'll have scouts looking at Curry Cup performances, and there will be agents that like punch you to 10 different clubs overseas, and then hopefully there's someone that bites and is willing to pay the right amount of money for you to go. But yeah, I think probably if you like very good rugby play and you don't get opportunities in South Africa, I think going to like a Japan, going to a France, a lot of these oaks made great careers for themselves playing abroad. So yeah, but now it's raining, eh?
Jeez, now it's coming down. It's going to be an interesting game for the Stormers versus Dragons.
Yeah,
great little transition, Josh. Great little transition. The Barbarians are also now coming to South Africa.
Come to Cape Town, yeah.
For a game against South Africa. A friend of mine was explaining what I thought was really cool, and I didn't know this about the Barbarians, but obviously they all have uniform, but their socks.
Oh yeah, it's their club socks.
That's so cool. And some of the guys pick socks from like their high school team or their country that they're from or their club. Like apparently some of the dudes will wear one sock for country, one sock for, their high school team. Like I think that's really cool.
Yeah. It's like a similar thing to what the URC is trying to do with that, like with the Origin, like when they do those Origin rounds and you play.
What's that?
So I think it happens like once or twice in the calendar season. They do like Origin, like where you're originally from. So you play in your school socks or you play in your club socks. So I mean, put on the Paul Roos socks and then and jog out for the Stormers. But yeah, it's pretty cool, like that Barbarians thing. And I've had the pleasure to be involved with them twice before. And it's such a fun week. And I think those boys coming to Cape Town, it's going to be chaos.
It's going to be a send.
Yeah, because it's Sunday when you arrive, it's in the pub. Monday in the pub, Tuesday in the pub, Wednesday in the pub.
Really?
Thursday the Oaks start, like, we're playing a game this weekend, so we just need to maybe calm down a bit. But then some guys still go to the pub. But yeah, it's very cool. Like I really enjoyed playing for the Barbas. I think it was a massive honor for me. And I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see also what Rassie does with that team. If he's going to pick a couple of new guys, when he's going to go full metal jacket, or to see if he wants to get his Oaks, the combos flowing again, like in prepping for Italy and the rest of the season. But yeah, it's exciting.
It's going to be like
Cape Town. I think Cape Town's looking forward to hosting a game like that.
Is it more a game of like, obviously it's still a serious game because it's two phenomenal teams, but is there like a bit of shithousery to it of like, we can have a bit of fun with this game, it's the boys against the boys kind of thing, or is it a dead set serious?
No, it's still like a big rugby game. So everything building up to the game, like probably with the Barbos, it's a bit less like strict and professional. Like you go for your training and you get together and everyone like has your team meetings and you talk about a strategy. But it's more of like a get together and just celebrate rugby. But I think for like a Bokke or a Springbok side, it would be more of like a preparation game. It doesn't count as a test match, so you don't get a test cap. As you just play a match for the Springboks, but you don't get capped for it. And then I think that's just like it's a good like experimental stage of trying some new moves, because the Barbarians game is always like it's not that structured. It's like a very free flowing running game. So it's entertaining rugby first of all, but there's the rugby element is big, and I think also with the Barbarians they talk a lot about like not disrespecting what the institute stands for.
That's cool.
Yeah, so you still, even though the Oaks get together, have a lot of fun, there's still a job that needs to be done over the weekend. That's important.
Did you guys win as the Barbarians with the times you played?
Yeah, we beat Argentina at Twickenham. It's quite cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Can you remember who was alongside you?
It's basically a full Springbok team. We were like 17 Springboks. Rassie and Jock was the coaches, full Springbok side. And then we had a couple of New Zealanders, a couple of Aussies in there as well. Ryan Wilson, he also does the rugby pod. He's got a rugby podcast as well. But Philip, was a lot of fun.
That's so dope.
You make great memories with the boys. Like you get to know them. And
I want to get into two games. One that's previously happened being the Sharks versus Ospreys. I think I'm saying that correctly. And then the Stormers versus the Dragons, which is happening in 2 hours.
Yes.
It's happening in 2
2
hours.
hours. Yeah, we need to wrap up. Come on.
Yeah, we need to wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for watching. So Stormers vs Dragons, it's going to be Willemse's 100th game,
Yes.
which just want to go a little bit into that. And then that Brockie is officially now retired. To go first just on Brockie retiring, how does it work when you don't retire in-game? I don't know if I'm using the terminology correctly. You know, like, I'm going to play today, it's my last game. Like, obviously, the announcement gets made before, and it's like, it's Josh's last game. So, you know, you get the congrats and the whatever of that game. Brok Harris retired, like, midweek after what was an injury. So, will we get to see, maybe, like, at the stadium today, that they honor him?
Yeah, yes. Honestly, I hope so. I think probably for someone, I mean, Brockie's 40 years old, and I think he played over 400 first-class games, which is unreal. But yeah, I think for him, I would truly hope that they do something special today, and deservedly so. Like, he's just been such a rock star when it comes to the Stormers and what he's meant for the side, and he's always like given it his all. He went away for a while, came back, and just almost became a better player with age. Like, it's tough to see a guy, but also I think like it's a career well done and a career well played, and I'm very proud of him. And hope to carry on seeing him in rugby and seeing next to the pitch and still involved with the boys. But I just want to say congratulations and also happy retirement. I think he deserves it.
I think it's time for us to formally put out the invite of Brockie, please come on Game Time. We'd love to have you sitting in the third chair. There is a third chair. I know these cameras can't see it, but there's a third chair. We'd love to have you sit down and discuss retirement and your career. My favorite thing about some of these players, obviously, you've got friendships and relationships and everything in the sport, but with certain guys, like with Brockie and a few of them, when you watch a game and my gramps, my dad, me, and my brother will have Brok run on, and we go, oh, he's here. You know, you've got like 3-4 generations that understand the value of him, you know. So that's really special.
That is.
To have that. So on the other end of things, going into Damian's 100th game, I was watching the press conference, as I was telling you, and they were saying, I didn't know this, but Willemse had been made an offer for somewhere else. I just thought it was rumor. I thought something sparked it and there wasn't something officially standing, but an offer was made and he turned it down and he chose to stay. He chose to represent Cape Town and represent the Stormers for a while longer. So congratulations on your 100th game today. Excited to go see you play.
100%. I think also like achieving that milestone of playing 100 games for one club, it's pretty special, I think. And also what he does is like probably one of the most professional players I've met, like when it comes to work ethic and the stuff he does behind the scenes that no one always sees. But in saying that, it's also good in the pub, which is great. Great for me. It's like I always bring it in there. If someone's a good oak and he's good in the pub, then
he's aces.
He's aces.
Yeah.
But yeah, just on Gaza, I think as well deserved. And flip it, I think he's gonna with how much he probably loves Cape Town and how much he loves the Stormers and all his aspirations for the Stormers. He's probably going to play another 100 game. He's going to be the first 200 Stormers capper if he carries on like it. But not to take too much away from him, I think it's well deserved and hopefully they get a good W to celebrate him and Brockie in tonight's game.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one. Yeah, I'm so pumped for it. They were saying in the press conference as well how like he is literally a 1 in a million player.
Yeah, he's good though. Jeez.
Oh yeah, he's phenomenal. Yeah. And he'll go down in history as like, you know, when you go that guy that walked the hall, you know, that ran on the field. So I'm pumped.
But I would actually like life sometimes pans out the way it does. But I would have loved to see Brockie play against his old team of like the Dragons. Because that's where that's where he played like a lot of games.
Okay.
When he was overseas, and now they're playing this tonight. So yeah, but I think there would have been like a bit of like, there would have been like a bit of clock on the
A
field.
little bit of beef.
Yeah.
Sharks Ospreys 29-10. The only thing I really wanted to go on that was Ibn's injury. Bummer when your teammate's head
KO's your knee.
it's made out of steel. Yeah. Damn.
I saw a funny thing on Instagram earlier as I landed here in Cape Town, where they spoke to Bongi after the game. And he was just like laughing because he's perfectly fine, doesn't have a scratch on him. And Ibn is being like stretched it off with the golf cart, with the medical golf cart. So I was like, shit, if my head had to hit something like that or that hard, I would have probably been like lights out.
Yeah.
But
so Ibn's knees the size of my head. So like
exactly.
fair game.
But yeah, hopefully it's not too serious. And they've also, like, the way they joked about it on the field, it doesn't sound like it's too serious. But yeah, I mean, we need Ibn back for international time.
Yeah.
And hopefully, yeah, it's by the time playoffs come, he's available and can play again.
Also, Sharks have now shifted, I think, to top 5 of the URC.
Should be just, can we check?
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see the road to the playoffs, because as it currently stands, if both teams win, if Stormers keeps winning and Sharks keep winning, the quarterfinal of the URC for the Stormers might be in Durban against the Sharks in a couple of weekends' time, if it goes as planned.
That would be great. That's what we were saying about the pressure on the Stormers boys. That if that does happen, because you got a loaded SA side in Sharks, and also pretty loaded Stormers side as well. In terms of SA running on the field.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a great battle to watch. I want to, talking on battle to watch, we're getting great transitions today. I want to give a shout out to the EFC. Terence Balelo. Dude, your fight on Thursday was phenomenal. They flew fighters in from Brazil for this card. And dude, you are such a weapon. It was so beautiful to watch. He literally picked the sky apart, just like hands flying. One of the most entertaining 3-round fights that I've seen in a while. So shout out to you. That was actually a really great card in general for the EFC. So the Saffers took all the fights against the foreigners, or against the Brazilians. I think everyone was Brazilian. I stand corrected, but that was a crazy cool card to watch. We were watching it at dinner. I was being that guy that's like, yeah, cool. Sitting on my phone. Yeah. So sorry to my friends for that, but it was 15 minutes only.
But that was like me, like last Sunday with the Toulouse Bordeaux games. Also, like at lunch with friends, and I'm like, I just have my phone there, and I'm just like keep looking. Oh yeah. I'm listening.
I agree. Yeah,
I agree. You agree to another trip to Greece? No. I agree what you said before that.
Yeah. Whatever you were saying before, the expensive trip, yes to that one.
Yes to that one.
Exactly.
Lekker.
What else was there? Oh, Dricus. Dricus chatting in on... I just thought it was cool that he gave this insight. That Dricus was interviewed on whether the UFC would come to South Africa. It's obviously been a debate for how many years now whether this is actually going to happen. But also, what are the chances of it and how do we make it happen? And it was cool to see from a fighter's perspective having that clarity of what the situation is, but also as a South African going like, hey, dude, this is where the chance is and this is where the chance isn't. And he basically breaks it down into costs of tickets against the amount of people that you could fit in a venue. The more people, the cheaper the price would then drop, because they can cover the cost of everything with more heads or more feet through the door at least. And we don't have venues here that are 30, 40, 50,000 people. So tickets would be a biggie deal.
Yeah. It's probably from the UFC side, they probably have got like a standard of how much they want to earn in hosting an event like that. We spoke about it earlier, and like being almost the first push into Africa and almost try and convert the entire Africa as a UFC backed and continent to fight on. The ticket pricing must be right. And maybe we should do this, like just make everyone pay like $100 and you go into a lottery.
Dude, that's a great idea.
But you don't
I
get
would
your-
enter.
You won't get your money back, but it's like playing the lotto. Like there's 30,000 tickets, 10 million people put their name in the hat for like a raffle, and then if your name gets pulled, then they make their money.
That's not a bad shout, eh?
They make the money, and then only the lucky 30,000 people can watch the fight.
I think they should. Dude, that's a very good idea because I would enter that raffle. I'd enter a couple times.
Yeah.
I think they should do what could be cool. Say now the venue can hold 10,000 people, right? They need to do fan parks again.
Yes.
I don't know why we stopped doing fan parks. Like,
100%.
even if for like Stormers games, if there was a fan park, the chance that I'm probably going to choose okay, maybe that's why they don't do fan parks anymore.
Yeah.
Because, like, dude, what do they do in the States? What's that called? Carpool.
Tailgating.
Tailgating. What's carpool?
It's like when you drive with a mate to work or something.
Oh, don't do that when you're watching a game and drinking.
Yeah.
But park. And then do that.
Yeah.
And then Uber home. But we need that. Like, I always look at what's awesome in American culture is tailgating.
Yeah.
And all the houses that surround the stadium sell their
Parking space.
yes, on their property. And I'm like, that is genius. So every year, these families are making money off how many games for parking.
Yes.
And they
bribe.
barbecue.
And
Yeah.
the owners of the house probably get invited as well.
Yeah, there we go.
So you eat for free, get paid for it.
Why not do it?
And-
we need that here. We need braai tailgating.
I remember back in the day when Stormers still used to play at Newlands, there at the brewery. They used to have these big, like on Groteski, used to park there, and everyone, like almost brought like a shuttle and a cooler box and just had a good
Bring
old time.
that back.
They still do it for Test cricket.
They do it for Test cricket. You're 100%
Really?
right. Yeah. And but it's
that's
because
cool.
because there's parking spaces there, but it's like tough. You can't really Greenpoint's not.
yeah,
it's
good
not
point.
geared for it unless you like park on. They allow you to park on Hamilton's fields,
Huh?
but that will just destroy the field.
Or park, or don't park, Uber, Arrive Alive,
Yes.
and we do the same at Hamilton's. We just turn Hamilton's into like one giant braai area.
But the only way you can get into it, you have to have your rugby ticket.
Yes.
So you come to, before you go into the stadium, you go through Hamilton's, you arrive 3 hours earlier. You come there, have a couple of dopes, have like entertainment and singers, and then from there, everyone together, all 50,000 people just walk into the stadium.
Dude, that's
And
such
it
a
just
good idea.
creates like a
Yeah.
yes.
You don't pay to tailgate, you just have to show ticket.
Yeah.
Because now we can have, 50,000 people That's
And it becomes a prolonged event.
True.
And it builds gears. Remember,
shitload of
people
gears.
like arrive at stadiums in drips and drabs, like half an hour before there's like a couple of people sitting there and a couple of, imagine all 50,000 people is like revved up from the pre-thing, like an hour before the kickoff, they all move into the stadium together. It's going to be chaos. And then from there,
Awesome.
it's just music pumping and guys playing
Yeah.
and big hits and
And we can go
run it
like
straight challenges and all this.
run it straight challenges. Thank you for bringing that in. We need to bring run it straight challenges to South Africa. The concussion listing would probably go through the roof. Do they knock each other out?
Yeah.
Cold. You know when you go stiff arm,
T-Rex.
that's a problem. Yeah. You fighting yourself. If you could pick one Formula One event to go to, what?
Probably.
He's already smiling. What would your one be?
Shit, let me think about it a bit. You go, Slong?
So, if I can do a Formula One and it's all access, like shits and gigs, right? You can Monaco,
No, but Monaco,
Yeah.
you can't see much.
but you have the whole weekend. So you'd watch like qualifying from,
A yacht.
from a yacht. Yes, Kitsy. Now we're talking.
The GameTime yacht.
From the GameTime yacht with the GameTime Porsche. you know?
And the GameTime
on it.
speedboat.
And the GameTime speedboat. Because
Yes.
the speedboat takes us from land to our yacht.
Yes.
It does make sense that way, right? And our GameTime crane that puts the Porsche on the...
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
On
we
the
just rev it.
spinning thing.
Yeah, it must spin, it must turn on the front. Yeah. Now we proper do us. Watch qualifying from there, and then you watch the race from like up in one of the boxes above the pit lanes. And it's like 2 days of insane experience.
I'll probably do like Singapore or one of those Asian countries. I think that because like those night races, those look sick.
Those are dope. Good call. Good call.
And also you're there the full weekend, like from Friday, Saturday, watch the qualifiers and race there.
Yeah.
You take about 2 days to recover afterwards as well.
But it's once in a lifetime.
100%.
So like I'll take a week to recover. That's okay.
Maybe also do just like Barcelona or something for Formula One. It could be fun.
That could be a jewel as well. Yeah. I'm kind of sold on the city, which I know I probably shouldn't say as like a Formula One fan, but like the city, you know, if I'm flying from South Africa, like, come on. If I could attend a Formula One that I think would probably be the most, but it would obviously be if it was here in South Africa, that would be phenomenal for all of us. But other than that, yeah, I rate that's like Texas could maybe be a jewel as well.
Yeah, it could, yeah.
It's time for us to hit this game.
Yeah.
Are you keen?
I am keen.
Let's do it. Thank you everyone for tuning in to episode 2 of Game Time. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Also go follow across all other socials. You see a lot of the other stuff that Kitsi and myself get up to. Again, thank you for your support. We appreciate you guys. Please don't forget that you have the story time and the game time shows all in one place under one channel. There will be vlogs coming out as well as workout vlogs too. So again, thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to Redefine and thank you, Kitsi, for being here. Lekker.
Brilliant.
Just boish.